All right, everybody. The Pro Bowl rosters were announced last night. It's time to react to all the Jets Pro Bowl selections, some snubs, and everything in between. Plus, the Jets have made a ton of roster moves this week, cutting bait with Dalvin Cook, Roger Saffold, all those storylines. Without further ado, let's get into it, baby.
Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field Gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor Gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Paul Esden Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm fired up here on a Thursday, baby, because we're going to react to all the Jets 2024 Pro Bowl selections. Plus, like I said, we'll talk about all the ones that were snubbed. And I think there were a few that have a legitimate case on getting the old snub job. We'll talk about that here on the show. A couple of things. First off, wherever you're watching, feel free to interact with the show. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We appreciate you. Get those comments in. We'll try to highlight a few during the show. If you have questions or anything of that nature, feel free. This is a solo episode. I don't get to do these a lot. I love having guests on. We have a bunch of wonderful guests coming up in a little bit, but I strategically planned this as a solo day, plus the Pro Bowl action. Like I said, all the other Jet news and nuggets gives us an opportunity to catch up on all that jazz. So I appreciate you. So let's get right into it. In case you missed it, the Pro Bowl rosters were announced last night on a television special on NFL Network. The Jets got two Pro Bowlers. Two. Those Pro Bowlers are Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner. Those are the two starting Pro Bowl players the New York Jets had. And we'll give you a few notes and nuggets about that. Now, I love this for two reasons. Well, three, I guess. I'm a crazy Jets guy, of course, and that factors in certainly. But there was not a lot of Pro Bowl. So, for those who don't know, the Pro Bowl voting process is broken down into three parts: the fans, the coaches, and the players. And each of them are supposed to represent an equal 33% of the pie in the voting process. Sauce, the last time I checked, was like 10th in cornerbacks for the AFC. The last time I checked, again, that's a fan voting. So for him to be a starter, that means like it was almost consensus from a coaches and players perspective that, of course, he was a Pro Bowl starter, despite what the fans say. So that just goes to show you how powerful that is, number one. And then number two, think about a guy like Quinnen. The thing I love is that these coaches and players, they know ball, as obviously they should. Quinnen Williams has 3.5 sacks this year. And if the casual fan just box score watches and they're voting or reacting or anything, they say, wow, Quinnen's having a down year. But there's all kinds of other advanced statistics that you could point to say, oh, okay, that isn't a number I normally look at, but that goes to show you, okay, this guy brings a little chutzpah to the table. This guy is making a little magic happen despite the fact that it doesn't appear that way on the surface. Let's go through a couple of them here from that perspective. So first off, Quinnen Williams. Give a shout out to Rich Cimini for this nugget. Okay, Quinnen Williams is second in the league in quarterback pressures, 64. The only one who's higher is Aaron Donald, who has one more, and of course he's a Pro Bowl starter. Let's go to Sauce, right? He doesn't have a pick all year. People have been making fun of him for that. But he's only been targeted 56 times this season, which obviously has limited the amount of opportunities. Now, don't get me wrong. Sauce had some drop picks. I was at the Cowboys game. That should have been a pick six. And there's been a handful of others throughout the season that he had ops on. But the fact of the matter is, while he's not getting the gaudy interception numbers, I know another cornerback in Jets history that didn't get the gaudy interception numbers. But the fact of the matter is he is elite and he's been spectacular. They've moved him around the field. They've kept him in his place. They've done all kinds of different varying combinations, and he's found ways to get things done. So shout out to that. So those are your 2 Pro Bowl starters. Before I go any further, I just tweeted this out, so I want to throw this up on the big board here. It's so cool. What a cool little fun fact / whatever you want to call it on old Quinnen and Sauce here. So here it is on your screen. So this is from Randy Lange, the Jets reporter. Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams are the first pair of Jets teammates going to the Pro Bowl in back-to-back years together since Darrelle Revis and Nick Mangold did it in 4 consecutive seasons from 2008 through 2011. So the point is that Quinnen and Sauce were both at the Pro Bowl last year for the Jets. Now they're back again this year. That's the first time, again, a pair of Jets teammates consecutively went to the same Pro Bowl in back-to-back years since Revis and Mangold, and they did it in 4 consecutive years from 2008 through 2011. So really cool nugget, and I love just, kind of sharing old school Jet stuff, although saying that as old school Jet stuff kind of made me just get another gray hair there because, I guess, honestly, that's like 15 years ago, but still, anywho, I digress. So the Jets only had 2 starters from the Pro Bowl. That's true. That's all they had. But they had a bunch of alternates. So I'll give you guys the latest here on the alternates. All in all, they had 6 alternates did the New York Jets. And here are your alternates, and I'll also tell you their placement. So the Jets had 2 first alternates. What does that mean? If the player or person ahead of them bows out for whatever reason, these next guys would get the first opportunity, and that is the Jets special teamers. Greg Zuerlein, Jets kicker, and Thomas Morstead, the punter, are first alternates for the Pro Bowl this season. And here are the players that got ahead of them. A.J. Cole of the Las Vegas Raiders, he took Thomas Morstead's spot, and Justin Tucker. This is definitely a popularity contest because the fact of the matter is Greg Zuerlein had a 95% conversion rate this year, better than Justin Tucker, yet Zuerlein gets kicked out, and Morstead, come on, it's obvious. So talk about snubs right off the bat. Both snubbed. But if either of them drop out. But here's the thing. It's not even a Pro Bowl game anymore. It's Pro Bowl games. It's like an Olympian dodgeball, goofy, whatever it is. Who's bowing out of that? Unless you just don't care. So it's not like physically taxing or you're trying to avoid injury. So it's very less likely going to have a lot of people bow out unless you're just going to the Super Bowl or something. So, and the only one that could is Justin Tucker. The Las Vegas Raiders ain't going to the Super Bowl, so A.J. Cole's probably going to be there. So Morstead, once again, as he joined our show and explained, he's been a first alternate like a million times. This is another time he's a first alternate. He's only been to the Pro Bowl once in his career. That was back in 2012. So hopefully he gets love. But those are the only first alternates that the Jets cooked out. Let's go through the rest of the list. They had 1 third alternate. That's C.J. Mosley. C.J. was spectacular last year. Some All-Pro, some Pro Bowl. He got a little bit of everything from that perspective. He is a third alternate for the Pro Bowl. And then here are the 2 fifth alternates. Or excuse me, the 3 fifth alternates. Breece Hall, Quincy Williams, Jermaine Johnson, all 5th alternates. Now, I got a bone to pick here. I've got a real big bone to pick here. The problem with the Pro Bowl, there's probably a lot of problems with the Pro Bowl, but the specific problem with the Pro Bowl is there's a lack of clarity on positions. Let me explain. So we're going to go to a guy that is on the Jets. He's really talented. But he didn't get voted as any kind of alternate. The Pro Bowl AFC roster has 4 cornerbacks on it, 2 starters, 2 backups. That was Pat Surtain, Sauce Gardner, Jalen Ramsey, Denzel Ward. You may notice there's something missing. Where's the nickel corner? Oh, wait, the Pro Bowl doesn't separate those things. Why? And plus, because it's not a game anymore. We're not talking about lining up. So even if you were going to complain about that, and then I guess you could pick slot receiver on the offensive side, since it's just a game now, and you can truly honor and represent the players that are the best at their positions. Michael Carter II tweeted out last night, nickels matter. He's saying that, hey, where's the love for the nickel cornerbacks? Where's the love for the slot cornerbacks? There's no designation. It's just overall cornerbacks. The same problem exists at linebacker. They picked 5 linebackers in total. 3 of them were outside linebackers / edge players, and TJ Watt, Khalil Mack, and Josh Allen. And like Jermaine Johnson he's not on that group as a Pro Bowler. I'm just saying he's on that group as an edge rusher more so than an inside linebacker. And then they picked 2 linebackers from the same team in Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen. Quincy Williams absolutely, without a doubt, deserved an All-Pro nod, let alone a Pro Bowl berth. Old Quincy Williams there. He was absolutely hosed from that perspective. Now, I'll say this. I thought Breece Hall's had a really good year. He's been the second most prolific receiving running back in a Jet single season ever. But he had that 9-game lull where he ran the ball 100 times and averaged 2.52 a carry. Now, was that because of the ACL? Was that because of the crappy Jets offensive line? That I don't know. But the fact of the matter is he had a 9-game lull of suckage from a rushing perspective. To me, that's too big of a lull to overcome. So I'm not surprised that Breece Hall did not make the Pro Bowl this year. Although, as we wrote in an article, you could check it out on our YouTube page, he had a very strong message after missing out on the Pro Bowl. Let's go to that real quick. Here's what Breece Hall tweeted last night after not being a Pro Bowler, telling y'all now, 2024, I will be a top running back. I will be in the Pro Bowl. I will be an All-Pro, and it will continue years after that. I love the cut of his jib. He's an exciting player. And I have this tweet saved in the draft, so this won't go out till after the final game, but here's something I can't believe. After the game on Sunday, there's one game left in the Jets 2023 regular season. I get it's 2024. Week 18, New England Patriots. Here's, I don't want to really call it a fun fact. It's just a fact. After that game is complete, Breece Hall will be halfway through his rookie contract. Think about that for a second. After that game's over, Breece Hall will be halfway through his rookie contract. Here's how contracts work in the NFL. A first-round pick, you get a 4-year standard contract plus a 5th-year option. That's how it works. Every other round, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, you sign a 4-year standard rookie contract, and then you become a free agent. So the benefit of being a non-first-round pick is you hit the open market in theory sooner. Of course, the Jets could tag or do anything they want, although the thing that will benefit them, at least from that perspective, is the 3 players that were also amazing in that class, Jermaine Johnson, Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson. They will have 5th-year options that the Jets can all exercise and accept, so they would have the flexibility to use the franchise tag that year, because if they didn't, then they'd have to use a franchise tag to pick between all of them, and that could have been a disaster. Thankfully, they didn't have to worry about that. So the real snubs, I think, when you look at the Jets Pro Bowl list, so Michael Carter in general, but because of how the current NFL Pro Bowling works, you don't really have a chance to truly appreciate it. I think the process is effed, so they need to fix that from a slot corner perspective. I think the process is effed from a linebacker perspective. They should have insert amount of inside linebackers and then insert amount of outside, like the same, like give equal representation for positions. That's what I'm saying. Like pick 4 or 5 edge rushers, quote unquote, outside linebackers. Pick 4 or 5 inside linebackers. And then you have them in their separate categories, and then you get a full representation of the NFL as a whole, but also from a pro. Do it for slot receivers if you want. Sure, they're different than outside receivers. They have different responsibilities, different jobs, different players play inside than outside. So I think it would be, again, we're the NFL. We can do whatever the hell we want. Why don't we have equal representation in the way that, quite frankly, it should be? So that's a part of the equation that I'd like to see fixed in the future. But I think Thomas Morstead, Greg Zuerlein both had wonderful years. They're Pro Bowl snubs. They're first alternates. They're right on the cusp. Quincy Williams, obviously, I think, is a Pro Bowl snub. Jermaine, again, I think he just has to get there. So Jermaine not being in there, I don't think is a crazy snub. I think he needs to earn his way in. He showed a lot of pop. I'm really excited about his future. Breece Hall, really excited about his future. But, we got to see where some of these things go. But Quincy, Thomas Morstead, Greg Zuerlein, those are 3. And then Michael Carter in general with the process, I would say also, is a snub that I'd like to see get corrected in the future. But I'm glad that 2 studs got it. Absolutely 2 studs got it, obviously, as well. That helps. Matthias here, I see him commenting in. Saquon Barkley is caught in running back hell right now. That is true because he is on the franchise tag. They have one more game left in their season. The Giants could franchise tag him again, and they're in a tough spot. I'll probably wait to send out this poll till the offseason, but with Brees Hall about to be halfway through his rookie contract, boy, what did the Jets do? 1 year was sort of lost injury. This year, the good news is his attendance. He was there all year. He didn't have any troubles in terms of an injury perspective. Again, there was that lull in the middle of the year, which you could contribute to returning from an ACL if you want to. And then you got 2 more years here. Now, here's how it works. So not only would Brees Hall be halfway through his rookie contract after Sunday, after this upcoming season, so after he completes the third season, after 2024 is over, like the season for Brees Hall, he will be eligible to talk about a contract extension with the Jets. Now, Brees Hall's making dirt cheap money as a second-round pick. It would not behoove the Jets to be over the top to say, hey, Brees, why don't we just give you that contract extension right now? And again, right now would be after this upcoming season that's coming. It would benefit the Jets to do the Jonathan Taylor until everything went haywire. Like, all right, let's let you play this out before we start talking to you. So it is a running back hell of sorts, which then goes to the Jets in this future cap situation with all these guys coming up. Sauce, Garrett, Jermaine, all those guys are going to come up at the same time. And they will all, by the way, also be eligible that offseason as well, which is 2025. All rookies, after they complete their third season, are eligible to talk about contract extensions, which maybe gives the Jets flexibility to kind of, because you can build contracts however you want. You can front load them, you can back load them. Maybe the scope of time will allow the Jets cap people to be like, okay, we need to slot in money for this, slot in money for this, slot in money for this, so they could get Garrett, Sauce, Jermaine, and Brees Hall, quite frankly, all locked in. But that's why this time right now is so important. Mas importante as we head into 2024. None of those guys can get extensions, so there's nothing to complain about. It's the NFL rules. Get over it. So now is the time for the run while you can maximize the roster. The Jets want to be super aggressive this offseason, get a new wide receiver 2, getting all kinds of other playmakers and offensive linemen and everything. And Aaron Rodgers gave up $35 million. They really need to make this run now before they have to start paying guys. Because when they start paying guys, you're just paying guys you already had way more. And again, they deserve to be paid, but they can't even get paid for another year. So this run is going to be super important. By the way, a couple of Jets notes. You guys can drop in any questions if you'd like. I'll try to stick around to answer a couple of those. But a couple of things here. So Dalvin Cook gets released earlier this week. Didn't really get a chance to talk about it. We've had Patriot guests and other things on here of bigger news, so we weren't able to talk about it. They agreed to mutually part ways. Roger Saffold requested his release from the Jets practice squad. That one never worked out, despite Saleh saying, I wouldn't say it didn't work out. Like, we added him as practice squad depth. That's maybe one of the stupidest answers I've heard from Saleh. So you added him for the sole reason of just keeping him on your practice squad with no intent to bring him up? Antoine Staley reported of the New York Daily News, another article we have up on Heavy on Jets. He reported that you signed him with the intent to bring him up, as you would with any player you sign. Of course, the intent is to bring him up to the active roster. The Jets were an offensive line hell. Would you get an antique? Is that what Roger Saffold was? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. What a stupid answer from Saleh. I wouldn't say it didn't work out. He didn't play a snap for you, and you signed him on Halloween. How in God's green earth did that not make sense? Boy. How else did that not work out? That was very clearly it didn't work out. That just doesn't make any sense. So what a dumb answer that was from Saleh. I love Saleh, but boy, he's had some really dumbass answers in the public, in the open media. There's no doubt about it. But putting that one aside, Dalvin Cook mutually agreed to part ways. I still think he's got gas left in the tank. Jets didn't use him. I think he could go to a contender. Ravens, Cowboys, 49ers, wherever. Probably Cowboys would make the most sense because they don't have Zeke anymore. Give a RB2 to Tony Pollard. That'd be nice. Baltimore has had a lot of injuries. That could make sense as well. So keep that train rolling. Absolutely. Roger Saffold, again, it just is what it is. It didn't work out, but Saleh saying it's not that it didn't work out. He accomplished the goal of his goal was to stay on the practice squad. That just, again, that part doesn't make sense. So put that aside as well. I see a question here from Jared. Are you going to continue this show when the season ends? It's a good question, Jared, because I'm pretty sure you guys may know better than me because I've just been doing it every day. I can't remember when I started the show. I think it was during the summer, if I remember correctly. June, July-ish, maybe. Maybe it was August. Actually, I have no idea. I can't even remember, to be honest. I have no clue. I'll have to go back and look at whatever the first episode was. But the point is yes, I am 1,000% continuing these shows during the summer. I think I've got a plan. Question. So I think I have a plan for how I want to attack the off season, but this show will continue. And as a matter of fact, I'm so crazy that I'm actually considering doing an additional show during the afternoons that I'm working on behind the scenes. It won't be every day like the Boy Green Daily, but it would be a multi-day-a-week show that I'm working on. So, guys, stay tuned for that. If you missed the announcement, by the way, thank you, Jared, for bringing this up. We have a new show. So, okay, let me reset. We have all our normal stuff. So, through the rest of this week, through game day of Sunday, here it is. Here it is. Okay. So I had the solo show today. We have Gunny coming on tomorrow. Awesome. We have Pat Lane, Patriots guy on Saturday. We have Woody on Sunday. And then once the game is over on Sunday, that's a final game day preview, all that. Starting on Monday, we'll have a brand new off-season schedule of brand new shows. Again, it's still going to be every morning here, Boy Green Daily. Every Monday will be Dom C. He will talk mock draft Mondays. We will start them immediately after the season's over. And that show will be solely dedicated to Jets draft scenarios, mock drafts, and talking about any prospects you guys want us to, or any Jets draft takes. Hey, you can submit questions. Say, hey, Paul, should the Jets consider trading down? Hey, Paul, what about Marvin Harrison Jr.? What about a lower prospect? You know, maybe it's not a first-round guy. It doesn't matter. But the way you guys can help me out, if you go to our community tab on YouTube, I hope it's a thing you guys can check out more stuff, is I already posted this one. We have a form. It's a Heavy on Jets form. It's a link that you can click and you could submit your questions for the show. And you can see me and Dom C. It's a brand new image. Again, if you go over to YouTube, it's on the community tab. Click on that and submit your Jets draft questions, Jets draft scenarios, whatever you want. Click that and submit it. And me and Dom C. will answer those on the show. We're hoping to get a ton of engagement there. The more engagement you guys can give, that can help support the show. So liking the video helps, subscribing to the channel helps, but also engaging. We're going to have a brand new forum each week that I will release that you guys can, you'll have like a week to submit your Jets draft questions, prospects you want us talking about, and everything else. So, guys, feel free to do that. I don't think we have any questions or topics in there yet, so feel free to be the first if you'd like. Again, the community tab, see our big-ass picture, and there'll be a link to click. All you have to do is, log in with your Google, whatever your Gmail account is, and you should be able to respond and add some stuff in there. So I hope you guys can. Hope you guys can support the show. As someone said in here, we are the kings of the off season, as Matthias says. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of cool draft stuff. I'm really looking forward to it. And as Matthias says, hit it up on the way out. Feel free, just jump on over and guys do that. Dom C does know his draft stuff. It was great to have him on the show for Boy Green Daily for the first time. What was that, the 5 days ago or something? Phenomenal. And after talking to him, he wanted to do something. We wanted to do something. We made it happen. So a Jets draft show, mock draft Mondays, Boy Green Daily. So freaking cool. I can't wait for that. How soon are teams allowed to start trading players? Technically, you're supposed to wait. Well, let me break that down truly. Trades can't be processed until the new league year starts, which is in the middle of March. That's the thing. Now, you can do these things that we've heard about in the past, like Alex Smith. I think it was somewhere in February we said they have agreed to trade him in the future, basically, because it can't become official till that date. Teams won't confirm it on social media and stuff like that. So, that can happen post-Super Bowl, and then you have that gap between post-Super Bowl and there's Combine and stuff like that. That post-Super Bowl date, and then until free agency, there's that weird gap of time that, again, no team can confirm it. It won't be like the Jets coming out, we have traded for Devontae Adams, even if that is agreed to behind the scenes in a handshake and it's reported by the Ian Rapports of the world and those kind of things. That will not become official till the new league year starts. But in terms of the trading, it can technically happen in between Super Bowl and the start of the new league year. But it won't be official. It won't be, slam dunk until the new league year starts, which is the middle of March. All right, thanks everybody. What an amazing season. We'll get into more of the sweet pleasantries on Sunday, talking about this Boy Green Daily Show that you guys have really, kind of embraced, which I obviously really appreciate. Your guys' commitment to commenting. I see it before every show. You guys are arguing or debating or chatting or wishing each other good morning. All that stuff helps. So keep it up, baby. Ask the questions, comment, engage, share, love. It means the world. We'll be back tomorrow with Gunny Gumby. And like I said, we have Pat Lane of the Patriots and then Woody for a game day Sunday. And then Booyah, it's off-season mode. And this is a massive off-season for the New York Jets as they try, in Aaron Rodgers' words, to reload and get ready for a crazy run. And we'll be with you, like I said, every morning. That show will continue. Plus, keep an eye out. I'm working on a brand new afternoon show that'll be multiple days a week with a special guest. We're working on that behind the scenes, and that's more off-season content that you guys can absorb. Really hope you guys dig it. God bless everybody. See ya, and we'll be back on the show tomorrow morning, 7:30.